keeps going. Contender for novel of the year. This is all very fascinating. Let's get right into this. You know why you're being questioned, so tell us.
You insult me? You make fun of me and you want me to answer your question?
Exactly. I'm sorry, but this is what's bugging me so much so far. Sorry for stopping it. It's going to happen. It's the point of the game. But interrogations do not start out hostile to start with. And if they do, you're doing it wrong. Because as hard as it is, there's an interview with, I forgot his name now off the top of my head. The American Murder, the Family Next Door or whatever, that's on Netflix. Oh God, what is his name? Anyway, there's an interview with him and everyone in the comments, and I understand it, it's difficult to listen to, but the two police officers, they're saying, oh, they're acting like they're his mates. Yes, I mean, maybe not at that point because he is already in prison, so they just want more information. They're trying to get information. If that doesn't work, then you start putting in more harsh tone into your investigation. That is how I have heard this happens. I'm not a professional. I just enjoy this stuff. But you're not going to get information by immediately being hostile. And not only that, both of them are. Both police officers are being hostile. Even if you're innocent, which they're assuming he's not, or not even assuming at this point, accusing, he is not going to come forward with any information. And this is how false confessions happen. And you get sued the hell out of because of what these two are doing here. End of rant.
No one's making fun of you, Caleb.
Oh, as if.
But you really don't have a choice about answering the question.
His lawyer will disagree.
Let's talk about motive then. Maybe you just finally snapped after bumming around for 20 years.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why don't you cut the crap and level with us? We know you walked out on your family 20 years ago. Your brother was still looking for you as of last year. How does that make you feel? Do you feel anything at all? Can you? I think you're a monster personally, but enough of the not remembering.
He's angry.
Why don't you tell me what the hell happened in that house last night?
I said I don't remember.
Now, the only way I can think that that would make sense, I'm trying to put it together as he says first, to try and make sense of him rather than accusing, as they have. And by the way, the guy I was referring to was Chris Watts, I've just remembered. American Murder Next Door, I think it's called. Great documentary. Sick mofo. But the point is, if his story's true, he may have short term. Which one's the one where you remember or don't remember the previous, like, short term? You remember long term. Maybe he's a witness and the actual person knocked him out and it's giving him amnesia and he's withholding all the information to try and get out of it. Again, supposition.
So my name is Caleb, and I worked as a mechanic. And someone claims I was at this house, even though I was a few miles away when you found me hours later today.
Who are you looking at? It keeps focusing on his look. Look, it keeps focusing on his look. Who is he looking at? Dude, it's driving me nuts. Okay, that's creepy and I don't like that. Sorry, I interrupted it, but that really creeped me out. It's fine. We'll watch it again for your pleasure. It is aliens. It's aliens. Told you. The truth is out there. I haven't seen everything in the case, but that shaking, that seizure, or whatever it is, definitely weird. Unless he has epilepsy. This is the first time I'm seeing it. Is it because one of the suspects is Lieutenant Colt? I don't remember his name. Unlock Caleb. So that they just wrote it weird then. I get to see his face. Why is he dressed like that? Is that what a holster looks like? One side's thin and the other side's thicker. Doesn't look as cool as I was imagining. In fact, he looks like a hitman. He's Agent 47's uncle. Suspect, Lieutenant Jeffrey Colton. Why are you wording it like that? It's annoying. What?
Bank interference. 1 second.
What?
Bank interference. 1 second.
He is a suspect?
Alright, we're ready.
We got a full house.
Yeah, busy day with all the comings and goings surrounding the news. Appreciate you doing this in here since the main floor is so busy and loud today.
Ah, no problem. Although I do feel like a suspect sitting in this room. I told them we needed more than one trick room for times like these, or when the city really goes to hell.
Small town, small priority, I guess.
Exactly.
Alright, go ahead whenever you're ready, Jeff. We're rolling.
My name is Lieutenant Jeffrey Colton. I'm a police officer with the Port Landsend Municipal Authority, badge number 20145. Here to give a statement, deposition as to what I witnessed at 221 First Avenue East.
That's not a suspect, that's a witness.
Morgan House here in town this morning. Today is October 31st, 2012.
The Morgan House.
October 31st, 2012. I'm entering this statement on my own accord and submit it for official record.
No. Watch that again. I'll try not to stop it.
1 second.
Seriously, looks like a hitman.
Alright, we're ready.
We got a full house.
Yeah, busy day with all the comings and goings surrounding the news. Appreciate you doing this in here since the main floor is so busy and loud today.
Ah, no problem.
It's a nervous habit.
Although I do feel like a suspect sitting in this room. I told them we needed more than one trick room for times like these, or when the city really goes to hell.
Small town, small priority, I guess.
Exactly.
Alright, go ahead whenever you're ready, Jeff. We're rolling.
My name is Lieutenant Jeffrey Colton. I'm a police officer with the Port Landsend Municipal Authority, badge number 20145. Here to give a statement, deposition as to what I witnessed at 221 First Avenue East, the Morgan House, here in town this morning.
It was Alana's house.
Today is October 31st, 2012. I'm entering this statement on my own accord and submit it for official record.
Again, I really do think they're reading their script. Because he's looking there as well. So, it said that Emily Thompson was the organizer, but it took place at Alana's house. Was it a birthday? He's cocky and arrogant immediately with that smirk, and I do not trust him at all. Did he say he was the first responder, right? Suspicious.
Yesterday morning, we received a call to respond to dispatch approximately 9:15.
Right.
Somebody walked by the house in the morning, described a mid-sized, two-story Victorian house typical of the area. They had noticed a window next to the front door was shattered and the front door was open, so they called us in to assume that it was a break-in. I was in the area, so I pulled up and was the first responder to the scene. The neighbor who called in is an older resident who lives down the street. With the summer rentals here, she thought someone might have broken in looking for something to steal. It happens occasionally here in town.
Interesting. Is there record of that call? I'm sorry, what? What? Is this her house or their house? Who the heck lives in a building like this? This is... What? Where's the shattered window? There's... Who lives in this? What? This looks like it's condemned. The old lady lives here? Is this her house? Oh god, don't tell me that they were doing some kind of seance and it's some kind of paranormal thing. That is straight out of a horror film. I'm just telling you now. Can you imagine, like, someone walking, like, it looks nothing like it, but Resident Evil, it vibes is what I'm getting from that picture. And I would not live there. Okay. So the woman thought there was a break-in. 9:15. AM or PM? They said he came in the morning, right? 9:15 in the morning? Is there record of that call? I want to hear it.
So I walked up to the house, which is older, a bit run down, maybe just uncared for.
More than that.
Weeds, overgrown bushes, that sort of thing. Walked up the path, up to the stoop, and onto the front porch, immediately noticing damage to the front door. As I reported, I confirmed the damage: shattered glass, splintered wood. It looked broken.
The whole thing looks broken, dude.
The door was still closed and I could see inside through the white curtain. I made the decision to enter the premises at that point. I yanked open the door, still thinking I was entering a robbery scene. You know, we don't get a lot of violent crime here, so I had no reason to think otherwise. The odd bar fight, theft. Anyway, nothing too serious.
Who directed this? It could be done better. I'm sorry. So this is the house they were found in then? Is that the shattered window? I don't understand. Where's the white curtain? You said you peered in through a white curtain. Where's the white curtain? This is such a bad picture. What is this, Google Maps? Why would they be there? No way. There's no way someone lives here. No way. You've got a nurse, you've got a pre-med, an accounting. They have got money. There is no way someone actually lives in this house. This is probably just where kids go to get their kicks or something. But again, where are the curtains?
So I walked up to the house, which is older, a bit run down, maybe just uncared for. Weeds, overgrown bushes, that sort of thing. Walked up the path, up to the stoop, and onto the front porch, immediately noticing damage to the front door. As I reported, I confirmed the damage: shattered glass, splintered wood. It looked broken into. The door was still closed and I could see inside through the white curtain.
There is no white curtain.
I made the decision to enter the premises at that point. I yanked open the door, still thinking I was entering a robbery scene. You know, we don't get a lot of violent crime here, so I had no reason to think otherwise. The odd bar fight, theft. Anyway, nothing too serious.
Dudes. There's a tree in the way. I can't see damage to that door. The whole place looks damaged, to be fair. Is that the broken window? I can't... Something's not right here. You'd see the white curtain, right? Am I just reading too much into that? Because I do tend to do that. Next.
So I called out I was entering, announcing myself. The front hallway was narrow and dark, even though it was light outside. Well, overcast. Inside it was messy. The doors to the side rooms, dining room, and the sitting room were closed, and some leaves had blown in all the way. I know college kids were staying there now, and there was a typical college kids things and stuff lying around. Bag of clothes, sports equipment, empty beer boxes, that sort of stuff. At the end of the hall, the living room door was closed, but it was damaged. A lot of houses in the neighborhood are old with doors to each room and all have the same or similar layout, so I felt comfortable walking and checking on things. The living rooms are always in the back here. So I walked past the staircase, down the narrow hall, and about halfway down I noticed some gashes on the wall, like on the front door, and I thought it was soy sauce.
Gashes?
Well, my mind went there to soy sauce because we had a neighborhood prowler a few years ago who still is actually in jail on another crime. He worked at the local sub shop, but he would film vacationers through their windows. He apparently became so obsessed with this group of guys staying next to him that he broke into their place, sprayed condiments all over the walls, and did all sorts of weird things in the rooms and the bathrooms. When we searched his place, he had pictures of him everywhere. Really weird guy. Anyway, that's
irrelevant.
where my mind went when I saw the stains on the walls.
Right.
Condiments. The gashes didn't really raise my alarm either. It was dark, so I thought maybe the kids were having too much fun with the drinking and the partying and whatnot. and the things that got out of hand. So I'm halfway down the entrance hallway, and it's really dark. And I get close to the living room, right to the living room door. At my feet was a large, dark, sticky stain coming from the door. But it was so dark, I couldn't really see what it was. I pushed the door open, and the smell was very strong. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know if you've ever smelled it. That distinctive smell of the inside of an animal, people in this case. I struggled to open the door because something was in the way, debris. Once I did, inside, immediately in front of me were the victims on the floor and on the furniture and the walls, everywhere.
Oh, wow. That was so much information. Are you telling me he said sticky stuff? He couldn't. What was it, pig's blood? You can't differentiate between human blood when you're a police officer. There are crime scene photos showing the extent of the victim's injuries you need to see to believe. Well, I've just heard it. Hope you don't have a weak stomach. I think that's for everyone that happens upon this video because we're looking at them. I'm talking to the tech guys right now to make sure you're connected to everything we have on the case. Not sure why it's not popping up right now. Hopefully just a glitch, or someone is hiding this information, or there's going to be some kind of flood in the evidence room and it's all going to be lost. Tends to be what happens. Okay. So what did they say? It said it was a party house. Really? What was it he specifically said about that? I need to see that again.
So I called out I was entering. Side. The doors to the side rooms, dining room.
He's very familiar with the area.
All the way. I know college kids are staying there now. The front hallway was narrow, and dark, even though it was light outside. Well, overcast. Inside it was messy. The doors to the side rooms, dining room, and the sitting room were closed, and some leaves had blown in all the way. I know college kids are staying there now, and there was a typical college kids things and stuff lying around. Bag of clothes, sports equipment, empty beer boxes, that sort of stuff. At the end of the hall, the living room door was closed, but it was damaged. A lot of houses in the neighborhood are old with doors to each room and all have the same or similar layout, so I felt comfortable walking and checking.
Why was there blood on the outside door, and why can I not see it? He said that, right? It was on the entrance. Inside? Murderer? I want to know how they managed to find the survivor and in what state. What can I search? Interesting. Audio only. 11:57. What time was this? Who knows? It doesn't tell you. Fantastic.
At that point, pulled out my gun, called out once again, identified myself as an officer of the law, and that backup was en route. I called for backup on my radio at that point, but now we know it didn't go through. The house was dead.
It didn't go through? He realizes he made a mistake saying the word dead quiet. It's inappropriate. There was no response.
Backup on my radio at that point, but now we know it didn't go through.
Really?
The house was dead. It was very quiet, almost peaceful. It was pretty eerie. First time I'd ever seen anything like that. I don't know what I expected, but it was odd how quiet it was. I froze. Everything was frozen in time in that room, it seemed. Wasn't expecting the silence. Bizarrely, there were white sheets over everything. The kids must have placed them there. All the furniture, the ground, everything. The students were located in various positions, or parts of them.
Damn.
It was like a bomb went off. Looking at the bodies, I had difficulty even processing what I was looking at. It was a mess. They've now been identified as all 4 of the deceased victims. DOA was reported by paramedics.
Where was the survivor?
Their names are confirmed as Emily Thomas, Brian Watson, Gregory Sims, and Alana Morgan. All students from the University of Western Washington. When I say I couldn't tell what I was looking at the time, I mean I couldn't tell if it was two victims, one, or what.
Eee.
It was an absolute mess. They'd offer counselors for us due to the severity of the scene and the victim's injuries, and I'm considering it. I could make out huge, wide gashes were present too from what I assume was one or multiple cutting instruments.
Wide?
Pieces everywhere. Like I said, they seemed more like bomb victims, almost fake, or like art somehow. I don't really know how else to say it, but what was left was just unreal. It didn't look real. I've never seen anything like it in all my years on the force. Then in the corner of the room, one of these shapes, bodies, moved just a little. I took 2 steps towards it, them, and then it screamed. She screamed. But the fear of God in me, that noise, piercing that silence in the room. So I realized we had a survivor and rushed over to the only living victim, Heather Gardner.
Interesting. Heather Gardner? Isn't that in a film? Heather Gardner? I think that's in a rom-com. I recognise it. His terminology is very interesting and he has to keep correcting himself. He seems very unfeeling of his... Oh.